side of him, especially on the defensive end, that I really like. And it looks like he's beginning to find his way. DeMar found him a couple times on the weak side, and he knocked him down, and there was just no hesitation in what he was doing tonight, even turning the corner. And that's the type of Keegan Murray we need.
Okay. The lobs, errant alley-oop passes, you didn't look very happy with some of that stuff.
Is that what those were?
They were errant, yes.
Okay, yeah. I'm never going to get on these guys for trying to do the right thing. And, today's basketball is a little different. I mean, the way that Malik did the last one was he drove until he was stopped, and he was fouled. And those are the things that we have to do. But I will say they are playing for each other. All of those passes were to a teammate. So, yeah, they didn't go through. I'm not gonna kill them. I appreciate it as an ex-player. Like, we would joke about it. So I'm sure we'll find a way to make it really bad on video, and they will enjoy it and laugh a lot. So it's like, does it hurt in the moment? Yeah, it does. Does it hurt momentum? Yeah, it does. But we have to learn these painful lessons, and luckily not at the cost of winning the game.
Game one of a 4-game trip here, some big games, ahead of you.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about, where you're trying to get this group to go? You played Utah tonight. You had Charlotte the last time out.
Yeah.
I know you're working on some things and trying to get, trying to build something. How are you feeling about how that's going?
I'm feeling like we're in a perfect position. Like, we need those type of tests. We need to face the teams that we're going to face, because if we're going to go where we want to go, that's what we got to do. There's no ducking it. And whatever that result is, you lick your wounds, because you get wounds, win or loss. So, I'm all for it. I think that there are certain aspects of our game that we're improving in. There are certain aspects of our game that we continue to work on, and that's been my message to them. We are here to work on us, even towards the end of the game. Like, I'm telling them, get up into the ball. There are a lot of different aspects of this game. Defensively, 130-point quarter, there are things that we can build upon. Has some good communication, some good switches, but it's still not as smooth as I would like, and I don't think as they would like either. So, but all in all, as I told them at halftime, we'll work on that and continue to work on it. The most important thing is that we win the game, and to their credit, they went out and did that.
Doug, what did you see at the start of this game, and what do you say to them in terms of trying to urge, them to come out with the effort that you want to see early?
It's more about being simple, but not working your way into a game. And I think that we have guys in that lineup who have done a lot in this league, and dynamic scores, and we have to keep the game simple, playing to our strengths, and one of those is playing through Domas, especially in the half court, and allowing us to get downhill. And then once we do that, whether it's a DHO, whether it's a split, whether it's a high split, low split, just read what's in front of you, as opposed to trying to dictate the game. That happens later in the game, later in the half, later in the quarter, later in the shot clock, where you allow your talent to dictate the game. Early on, I just want them to read more.
Keegan has just his fourth 20-point game of the season, and it was his first since November 24th. Speak to kind of his journey, like year to year, how his role has changed, and he's been asked to do different things, and then to be where he is now, where he's maybe not as much of a scoring option as he was in year one.
He still is the same option. I would beg to differ. I just think that he's asked to do more on the defensive end. And the balance of trying to play really hard defense and then go be a jump shooter is difficult, and you have to find that balance. Not to mention on DHOs and different things, he's learning and continuing to learn how to read. And tonight he was spectacular. They were going under. He stopped behind the screen. He didn't hedge out to where all of a sudden he finds himself in trouble. He stopped behind the screen, saw that the guy went under, took an escape dribble, and he's knocking it down. These are things that we're working on when we do have practice. So to watch them translate to the game for him, I think we'll continue to build a comfort zone for him that hopefully we see more nights like this.
Okay, and I've asked you before about him taking those 2 games off back in like the beginning of January, and since then he's at like, I want to say around 39% from 3. How beneficial do you think that time off was for him just to get his body right? He was talking about how he felt like he was jumping off the field a lot of times. So, I
mean, one thing that you'll find about Keegan is he doesn't really complain, and he's a quiet kid, so you don't know. I push him and prod, and he laughs a lot, but he probably hates it. But it's my way to deal with him and bring out what I feel is inside of him. And there's a lot of good stuff in him, man. Like, there's a quiet storm. My grandmother would say, still waters run deep. And I think when I look at him, there's an intensity inside